Hey, it's Adrienne here with Yoga for Migraine. There are so many days living with migraine where you are in bed, probably more than you would like, and either the pain is so intense, you're just exhausted, and it's really hard to have any physical movement. This is where bed yoga comes in. You can call it boga, and this is a practice where you can still move your body even when you're laid up in bed. So this practice you can do with your jammies on. If you are joining me in bed, it'll be good to just clear some space, but have as many pillows as you got, keep them with you, and then you'll need a little bit of space above your head, so try to find the middle of where you are. If you're joining me live, it's great to see where you are. Say hello in the chat. And then if you're joining on the replay, putting in hashtag replay helps to just keep this content fresh for everybody to see. Before we lay down, a couple announcements that my Beyond Migraine coaching program, where I integrate a daily yoga for migraine practice, pain or processing therapy, and help you implement all those lifestyle changes that you might have been hearing about in the Migraine World Summit, ranging from helping to optimize your sleep, to decreasing stress, to increasing physical activity. These are all things that we focus on in a multi-pronged approach to substantially reduce your headache days and migraine days. And there are just 2 more days where my program is on sale until Friday, March 17th. I've never had a gigantic sale on this coaching program before. If this is something that you're interested in, feel free to write Beyond Migraine in the chat or send me a DM. But this is a time where you could join this really 12-month program. We kind of kick off with an 8-week coaching intensive, and then we gently reduce the support over time, continuing you to have a daily yoga practice for an entire year. You can join for $200 a month for 12 monthly payments. So I really encourage you to look into it. You can send me a message. I've got a whole Google Doc with all the information on there. So let us get into bed or lay down on your yoga mat. Many people enjoy having a pillow for their head, and I'll grab a folded blanket for my head. And if you're someone who has vestibular symptoms, some of these practices could stimulate a little bit more dizziness, and so you always have the choice to opt out, to slow down any movements, and know that this is for you. So you can make it your own, but I just want to give that little disclaimer that we are going to be doing some movements where we might be turning the head and the body side to side. So coming down on your bed or on your mat, laying your head on a pillow if that feels good, or just flat. And then knees up, you'll let the knees come together like a teepee. And then one hand can rest on your heart, the other on your belly. Allow the eyes to close or gaze softly ahead, and take a few moments to feel. We often have racing minds and are racing from one thing to the next, especially if you've been lying in bed and there's nothing else to do. Our minds can be busy. So tune into what your body is feeling. Perhaps you can feel the movement of your breath under your hands, your belly and chest. And let the breath come to you. And if you are dealing with a higher pain day, your pain will likely try to get your attention. That's what it's supposed to do. And know that you're taking care of yourself, and that by attending to the pleasant sensations in your body and your breath, this is one of the best things you can do right now for your pain to help you feel safe and comfortable. And let 2 more rounds of breath flow in and out of the nose. We'll be doing about a 15 to 20 minute practice today. Allow the forehead to soften. Noticing the muscles around your eyes, letting them gently release. Perhaps you can bring a little more slack to the jaw and let the teeth part. Let's take a big breath through the nose and then sigh it out the mouth. One more through the nose. Good. You can let your hands relax to the sides. If your legs feel comfortable where they are, go ahead and keep them there, or you can extend the legs. We'll now do some gentle rolls of the head so the torso stays still, and you'll gently roll your eyes to one side of the room, and then keeping that connection of your head to your pillow or bed or mat. Come back to neutral and roll the other way. So you're not lifting your head at all. This is just gently rolling side to side. Come back to neutral. And you go at your own pace. You can also just hold the roll. So once you've rolled to one side, you can just stay there if that feels better. Otherwise, keep gently rocking. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open, and letting your eyes track side to side has a lot of benefit in helping your nervous system to come out of a frozen state. Helps you to, in bigger terms, can help release trauma. That's where the practice of EMDR, of having your eyes track back and forth, comes in. Because when the brain and nervous system feel safe, that's when people will look around. There's kind of this looseness to the vision. And so this is a way to loosen up the vision by looking around, and that's initiating that relaxation response of the body. Wherever you're at, make your way back to center. Let yourself pause. Sometimes moving the head can feel a little dizzying, so if that's happening, just observe, let the head settle. Remind yourself that you're safe, you're not going anywhere. And now, holding on to the elbows, we'll do some rocking of the elbows side to side. So rock the elbows to the right, your left shoulder might come up slightly, your head might turn slightly, back to neutral. Notice how super slow I'm going. There's no rush. Over to the left. Getting a little more space through the upper spine, the shoulders. And then notice what feels good for your legs. Maybe separating the knees instead of letting them cave into each other feels better. And the movement can Get a little bigger if you'd like. You can make it smaller. You can start to see what happens as you roll elbows side to side. If you made the movement bigger, maybe your hips will lift. Maybe you come all the way to one side. Use that noise. And move elbows back to neutral. Knees are coming back. Your elbows come all the way so far that your hips roll as well. Checking in with yourself. Is the same sustainable? Do you want to just stay in a twist and lay there and not move back and forth? Is it more helpful to keep your gaze straight ahead and not turn your gaze? What feels safest to you? Giving yourself this chance to explore your movement. Let's go one more time over to the left. It might not feel like you're doing a whole lot, and often when you're having a migraine attack, that's okay. Let's let your hands rest now. Maybe hugging the knees into the chest feels good. Rocking the knees side to side. And then let's lengthen one leg at a time. And we'll come into what I call snow angel arms. So this is where you might want a little bit of room if you've got a headboard. And you'll simply be sliding the arms overhead. If you've got a pillow, you might need to lift the arms or just get rid of your pillow and down. You can also keep the arms bent so you don't need to hit the headboard. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale with your breath back down. And doing movements like this when you've been in bed for a while, our energy can just get so stagnant. And this is helping to increase your breath capacity, helping to bring movement through the neck and shoulders. So this is all good stuff, because being in bed for hours, even though it's restful, it can also be a little bit hard on our body, just having all that stagnant energy. Let's do one more. Good, and release. Take a moment with arms down to feel where you're feeling perhaps a little more blood flow through the arms and shoulders. And let's bring in one knee at a time. And we're going to come into moving into this little ball and then opening up to a star with our arms and legs wide. So hugging the knees, inhale, and then on exhale, expand like a star. So arms and legs as wide as you can. Inhale, draw in the knees. If your neck feels up to it, you can lift your head, tucking it in like a ball, and then burst the arms open. And you can really just let your arms and legs flap down if that feels good. Inhale, draw it in. Neck up or down, head up or down. Exhale. Maybe it feels good to just droop it all back. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And just stay in star. Observing the flow of your breath. Maybe you've got a little more space for your breath here. Inside out the mouth. One more like that. In through the nose. And out the mouth. Good. Let's lower your arms down. You can bend the knees one more time. This this time then we'll take the legs a little bit wider. So if you're on a mat and feet are about hip distance, if you're just on your bed, your feet will just be a little wider than the hips. Now we'll do windshield wiper legs. So your legs will come to the right, knees stay bent, and then rolling back to center, and then the other way. Moving back to center, and then gently letting the knees fall to one side. This is where you can also have one pillow on either side of you or some blankets if it feels better to have a little bit more support for your legs. And then if you'd like, as your knees go to the right, try looking to your left. So you have a little more of a twist. Back to neutral, heads back to neutral, legs left, maybe your head looks right. Or if you prefer to keep your gaze more stable, go for it. Connecting to your breath, inhaling as your knees come up, exhaling as your knees rest. Inhale, center. This time as your knees go right, let's let the knees stay there for a couple breaths. Your head can look straight above you or turn left. A nice opening through hips, low back. Maybe you've got a cushion under your knees to support your low back and legs more. Any deepening you can do of your breath while you're in bed is so good for you. It is so good for helping to bring more relaxation and less pain. Inhale, neutral. And then this time we'll let legs rest to the left, maybe looking to the right or straight above you. Feel free to adjust knees if anything is aggravating for your low back. Typically having something under the knees will help in that department, or bringing the legs closer together, like so. Full breath. Even when we feel sluggish, on high pain days, and our breath might be the only thing that we can really work with, but we can use that breath more intentionally to bring more energy into our bodies. Okay, come back to neutral. Hug the knees in. Maybe give it a rock side to side. So I want to show you two restorative poses that you can do in bed. So we've done a little more movement-based bed yoga, but you can also do restorative yoga, which would use more props but less movement. So I'm going to roll up to grab either if you have a couple blankets to stack, a couple pillows, or a bolster. I'm going to grab mine, and we'll have the bolster to one side. We're going to come into a recline twist. So I've got my bolster to my right. I'll extend my right leg out, bring the left knee into the chest, and this can feel great to just pause here for a little bit. And then with your right hand to the outside of the leg, you'll draw your knee across into that twist. And then your left hand, maybe it feels good to be in a goalpost or extend out. Your gaze can be to the sky or over the left shoulder. And cleansing breath anytime, in through the nose and out the mouth. In through the nose and out you go. And what can you soften? How can you let go just 1 degree more? And on your next inhale, bring your left leg back, hug both knees into the chest, a little rock and roll side to side. And then switch the stack of pillows, your bolster, to your other side. Right knee comes into chest, left leg extends. We'll stay here for a bit. And then your left hand comes to the outside of the right knee to pull the knee to your blocks, bolsters, pillows, whatever you got. Right arm, maybe I'm in a goalpost, maybe I'm extending. And then settle in, release. One more breath in and out here. And then inhale, take your legs back to neutral. One last hug and rock. And for our last pose, this is something that you can do if you've got a headboard or wall, where we're gonna bring our legs up your headboard or wall. If you are having a super high pain day and you're like, there's no way I'm gonna get into that position. Another alternative would be to lift your hips and draw a stack of pillows under your hips. And you can just lift your legs from here. If you want to stay there, go for it. I'll also show you how to do it against your headboard. So you would saddle up right next to your headboard or wall, shoulder to the wall, leaning back, and then drawing your legs up. And sometimes you might scooch a little closer to the wall. If that feels good, if it feels better to be further away from the wall, do that. And this is something that is so good for your circulation, especially if you've been in bed a long time. This also is commonly recommended for fatigue. This is a pose you can stay in for a few minutes. If you've noticed a lot of tingling or falling asleep in your legs, you can add a little movement in your toes. You can lower the legs for a bit, or just come out. If you'd like to stay there and you have a couple more minutes, please do. Otherwise, draw your knees in, rock to one side, or if you have your pillows under you, lift your hips and bring your pillows out of the way. I'm gonna come up just to say goodbye, but if you're still in bed, just notice your energy now. Perhaps you feel a little lighter, perhaps you feel a little more blood flow, openness, and breath. And this sense that you've done something good for yourself, even when it feels like you can't do anything on a high pain day. There's always your breath. It's your best friend, always with you, always here to help. So thank you all. If you are having a high pain day, I hope it all passes soon and that this practice gave you a few tools to take your mind off it and just ease things. If you're interested in Beyond Migraine, my group coaching program, reach out, send me a message, put something in the comments. We've got 2 more days to join and save over $1,000. So big old sale. Love to have you. Be well, everybody.